Today we're finally back on the spray wall here at Boulder. It's been a few days since we've had a spray wall session on this wall because we were recently in Munich for a couple days and we subbed out our spray wall session for just a regular session of bouldering to take advantage of the boulders that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to get on. And then we also, when we got back, we started a new phase of training that hasn't had us doing spray wall until today. So it's been a little bit and I'm excited to get back to it for this session. And this is our first time actually doing two spray wall sessions as well. In our first spray wall cycle, we were just doing single sessions because I wanted to ease the body back into the training volume and I didn't want to kind of hammer myself with double sessions right off the bat. So now we're finally going to be doing double sessions for basically all of our sessions will be double sessions. And so now we have 45 minutes of spray wall to do today, 2 sessions, 45 minutes each. So that's kind of new. I haven't done this in a while. Should be fun. This allows me to kind of put a lot of focus on 1 or 2 boulders in one session instead of trying to kind of plan out, okay, I'm going to spend 20 minutes on this boulder and 20 minutes on the next boulder and try and plan out a longer session, like an hour and a half plus. This way I can just kind of pick 2 boulders that I want to work on and have a good idea of how long it will take me and then just work on those for a while, which is quite nice. So this boulder, for example, we started training on the spray wall by doing repeats to kind of get like a baseline of my fitness and kind of see where I'm at and wait until I'm like able to give the same quality of attempts on these repeat boulders as I was in the beginning of the year to make sure that I'm at like the same level of fitness before I start making new projects and trying to push the level further. So yeah, we were working on repeats in the past couple weeks, and I finally had like been giving good quality attempts to my repeat boulders, and I'm like ready to move on. Except for this last boulder here. This boulder here is like the last boulder of like our group of repeats that I want to keep trying, and it's because this one was probably my hardest send of like my original set of boulders on this wall. And so this one is kind of like the real test piece. If I'm able to send this, that means I'm feeling super good. And so even though I'm like ready to start making new boulders and like working on a couple old projects, for this session I want to just spend a lot of time on this boulder and kind of say goodbye to repeats after working this boulder for quite a bit. So yeah, like I said, I've sent this once before. I probably took me like 4 or 5 sessions to do. It was so hard. I sent it on a mega session. I was feeling so strong in that day. And you can see I've been working this for a while now. I keep falling on this move to the sloper. Definitely the crux. Probably the hardest individual move I've stuck on this wall. I have only stuck the move once, and it was on the send go. I was never actually able to, I never stuck it individually before I got the send. I got like super fired up for a send attempt, and then I just managed to hit the hold perfectly on the attempt I sent it. So yeah, this boulder is super fun. It's got some really cool sequences. I'm really happy with this boulder. It's a lot of fun to work, and it's kind of just like a nice, beautiful boulder. It's got some really nice moves. We start on this like kind of okay pinch. It's kind of slopey, but it's got a nice groove for your thumb, so you can squeeze it really hard. And then you do this pull up to this pinch crimp, which is pretty good. It's pretty in-cut. And then this hold that you're crossing to is a little bit worse. It's a little bit slopey, so you really need the toe hook to pull you over to the left. That's like probably the first pretty hard move of this boulder. You see, in the early attempts, I wasn't sticking it all the time. It definitely takes it's a bit of a learned movement, so I have to always warm up my muscle memory to be able to stick that move. And then obviously we got the crux move, the jump to the sloper. You have to be so perfect on how you throw your momentum to this hold. If you jump a little bit too much to the right or a little much to the left, there's no chance you're going to hold it. It's all about just like finding that perfect amount of momentum to toss your body up. And so we see I have worked the move a bit individually, but now I'm like starting to give ground tries because I'm feeling super strong on this session, and I finally stick the move here again. This is only the second time I've stuck the move, and I just hit it perfectly. I threw my body exactly how it needed to be. Even though I hadn't stuck it individually in the earlier attempts of the session, you saw that I did it from the ground. Sometimes like when I'm working a move individually and I know that I can do it, and I know that it just needs to get, I need to get like maybe a little bit more lucky, or the movement needs to be slightly optimized, I'll just start giving ground attempts, because I know with the extra motivation that will also probably help me stick it. And you can see I was kind of looking at the roof there. I thought I felt some drips on my head or something. Like it was raining outside on this day, but so I looked up and there was no window. So I don't know where those drips were coming from. It's kind of funny. But you see I stick the move again. So now this is only the third time I've stuck it. And now I'm falling, like I think what was happening is this hold is really bad too. So when you have the bicycle, it's not even easy to match, especially because the bicycle is off to your left. It's not really like super helpful. And so it's like you need to like position your body so that when you match the hold, you have no swing. You have to put your body exactly where it's going to be, and all you do is move your hand and the rest of your body doesn't swing. And any little bobble means you're going to like spin off. Like it's not secure enough to have any sort of swing. And so I'm really struggling with the match today. I remember when I sent it, the match was hard, but it wasn't too bad. And so I was kind of getting frustrated at why I kept falling matching this hold. And all of a sudden I was like looking at the boulder while I was resting, and I came up with this new beta here you see that I go and I try individually, where instead of matching the hold and then putting my foot back to the crimp to do the drop knee for the last move, I put it first, and it is so much better to match the hold, and it saves me energy too, because I don't have to squeeze the hold really hard to cut the foot and then get the match, which is like another crux in its own. And so now here I'm gearing up for the Sengo. With this new beta, I'm super confident, but at the same time I'm getting nervous too now because the session is winding down. You see I've been working this boulder for the whole session. I've got like 5 minutes left at this point, so if I send it now, it's like a perfect session. I worked the boulder for the entirety of the session, no overtime, and yeah, it ended up working out really well. And so yeah, with this new beta, I stick this move from the bottom, and now with this new beta, I am comfortably gearing up the last move, which is also really hard. It's hard to hit this hold, like the last hold is a slot. Got to hit it perfectly, and I got the send. Super satisfying. And yeah, I was like definitely pretty nervous too, like gearing up for the last move. I kind of got like that Sengo adrenaline where your head just starts getting cloudy and you're like freaking out. I haven't got that in a while actually. I really wanted to do that boulder. And so yeah, that was really relieving. I just kind of had to calm down, kind of do what I was talking about in the video where we were working that really hard slab at element. Like for slab especially, when you're like trying to send a really hard slab, it's super important that you really let go of all the pressure, and because the more pressure you feel, the more stiff you're going to be, and your body won't be able to relax and find key balance points. And stiff intense climbing is the worst thing you can have for slab. So I was really working on that head game of like almost tricking myself into not caring. Like of course I wanted to send that slab like really badly. It was an awesome boulder and I was working it a lot and I was getting close and I wanted to send it, but I had to just trick myself into not caring and really mimic the emotions of just not caring in order to cause my body to be a bit looser, climb with less tension, and then just be able to calm myself down. And that's how I was able to send that slab. And I found I had to do that with that boulder as well. Even though it's like it's the exact opposite of the slab. It's like super intense physical climbing, and you think you want to be like really fired up and like squeezing really hard. Sometimes it's a similar thing. Like you'll over grip and you'll tire yourself out, especially when you're lining up for a crux move. And so sometimes you kind of just need to take a second to trick yourself into not caring, and all of a sudden your body will calm itself down and only use the amount of energy that it needs. Oftentimes, like for that last move, for example, is a really hard move to stick. But when I'm like trying really hard, I'll over grip even to the point where I'm using too much energy than I need. I actually don't need to be pinching this hold as hard as I am or squeezing like these two holds as hard as I have to, and it can oftentimes cause you to fall. And so if you just are able to relax, you'll only use the amount of energy that you need, and it won't like kind of become shaky and fall as a result of that. So anyway, that's kind of what I had to do for that boulder. And with my limited experience in like outdoor climbing and like climbing indoor boulders that have grades and whatnot, I'm gonna call that boulder an indoor V13 on the spray wall. So that's pretty cool. I was really happy to get a send to that, and it shows me that I'm now like in proper shape, like I'm properly fit, and now we can start pushing even further. And I'm so psyched too. Like I just have a nice like few months of just training coming up with no events really interrupting. And I can really just try to start pushing my climbing ability further, which I haven't been able to do in a while. So that's super cool. So anyway, here we are for session 2. That boulder, the first boulder, kind of took the entirety of session 1. And then I just kind of hung out at the gym for a few hours. Maddie was climbing too, so I just hung out with her. And then now here we are for session 2. I'm trying a new boulder. So we're finally done with the repeats. That last send concluded our repeats, and we can try to start making new boulders. And so this boulder here I made up at the end of a spray wall session. I think it was our last spray wall session. I briefly made it up and kind of foreran a couple of the moves just to see if it was possible. And it's a super cool boulder. I really like the moves on this one. You can see at the end there, I was trying to go from that yellow pinch to like another similar yellow pinch, but I ended up changing the ending because it was a bit too hard. And I was happy with the boulder the way it was, with like a bit of an easier ending. So here's the send go. I managed to send it in the session. You can see I start doing this move where I jump out to the hole in the volume and then go immediately up to this next one. And it looks like I'm trying to do some, oh no, okay, sorry, this isn't the send go. The next one is the send go. Anyway, yeah, that was the first attempt where I did this move where I jump out to the hole in the volume and then immediately go up. And it looks kind of strange, like why am I doing that? It's not a paddle dyno. But with this boulder, I found, especially because it's quite long and it's very intense, and this is something I feel like is one of my strengths actually, is really maximizing my efficiency and conserving my power levels to like send a long kind of powerful boulder like this. By just kind of connecting these two moves, it eliminates a lot of small micro adjustments that I have to do. Whereas if I just like take the swing, initially, I have to adjust my hands and then campus up and then put the foot and then adjust my hand again to go up for this next hold. By just kind of connecting these two moves, all of a sudden, I use the backswing to put my foot back on the start hold and I can adjust my hand right away and then go for the next move. I save a lot of energy by doing this. And I think that little trick, just connecting those two moves, allowed me to send the boulder. I think I actually wouldn't have sent the boulder in that session if I didn't kind of find that kind of weird connection of the moves. Because when I did get the send, that last move, I was super tired and like pretty pumped from the beginning of that boulder, and just like 3% less energy in the tank means I wouldn't have done it. So that was pretty cool. Another really cool boulder. That one was not quite V13. I'd call that one maybe like an 11 or something. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, that concludes today's day of training. 2 45-minute spray wall sessions that went very well. Tomorrow we'll be climbing at Studio Block and working out after that.